gas is too hot. Oh, gas is too hot. Put on your walking shoes. We may be walking soon. Gas is too hot. Gas is too hot. Oh, gas is too hot. Put on your walking shoes. We may be walking soon. Put on your walking shoes. We may be walking soon. Put on your walking shoes. We may be walking soon. Gas is too hot. It's too hot, 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 too hot. It's too hot, too hot. 87, too hot. 89, too hot. 93, too hot. Diesel, too hot. It's too hot, too hot. Too hot, too hot, too hot, too hot.
And hello. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Good evening, Symmetry. Can you hear me? Child, I can't see myself, so I can't. Oh, I see it moving now. All right. How are you guys doing? I hope that everyone is doing fine. Honey, I just came down here to run my mouth. We're going to have a little lady row after dark. It seems like Huntsville may be a little shook. What's happening down there in Huntsville? Anybody know what's happening down there in Huntsville? Now, I've had some conversations today. I don't know what's actually going on, but maybe I have a little insight on what may be going on, but I ain't gonna tell y'all. We're gonna hold that, but we're gonna talk about what we do know. All right. Anywho, I want to let everybody know that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Please make sure you write that down so that you won't forget it in next time you decide you want to discuss it. Symmetry said, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please do that. Please comment. I love commenting in the comments section. Thank you, Symmetry, for letting me know you can hear me. Hello, Shayna. How are you doing, beautiful? Hey, living for me. Love the banner. Do you love the banner? I do too. Make sure that you understand that domestic violence is in October. It's not in June. All right. There's a lot of things in June. Father's Day, Juneteenth. We celebrate a lot of things, but one of them is not domestic violence. Anyway, everybody speaking. Yeah, where you been, Shayna? Definitely. Hey, good evening, Black Butterfly. How are you? So you guys, hey, Brown Girls Rocks. I told you I was coming back. I went and did what I need to do real fast and then still forgot to pick up one thing. So in the morning, I'm going to have to run to the store. I probably will hit up Target. Don't tell nobody. But they have what I need. My grandson wears a certain type of diaper, and his mom was really bougie. And so they had boxes at Walmart, and I was like, I ain't buying a big box. I'm not the parent, I'm the grandmother. So I normally keep diapers over here for him. So I run to Target tomorrow, and I may still have to buy a box. I'm not sure. But anyway, y'all, we're going to get into it. This morning when I woke up, I went, I do my normal morning devotion. And as I was doing my morning devotion, I actually started scrolling on Instagram. One thing I do in the morning time with the Mod Squad, with Butterflies Chat, I post, hey, Michelle, I actually post a prayer and a scripture. And I post that same prayer and scripture on my post now. I wasn't doing it first, but I've started doing it lately. So if you need a scripture or a prayer, check out my post in the morning times because I try to post it there. So as I was doing so, I started scrolling and scrolling. Ain't nothing wrong with scrolling, honey. So I started scrolling. Welcome, Black Butterfly. I've never seen you in here before, but please, you're welcome to come in anytime and have a seat and chit chat with us. So as I was scrolling, I ran across Melody Shari's page, and I hit her stories, because that's what popped up was her stories, and the stories were pretty disturbing. This one looks like it was 13 hours when I posted, when I screenshot it, which was this morning. You see the time of it says 7:53. I actually took the screenshot at 7:53 a.m. and this is from her page. So it was 13 hours prior. So that would have been around 6 p.m. yesterday. So I was really kind of, again, disturbed by what I read, right? I'm gonna read them to you. My take on this may not be like everybody else's take, and I just want you to bear with me as I talk about it, because I think as human beings we all may be able to relate to what I'm going to say. Okay, I have a lot of empathy. By trade, I'm in the medical profession, and the one thing I practice and I try to teach my children is to always have empathy. Put yourself in someone else's shoes and see how that feels. You know what I'm saying? So let's just read a little bit. Melody Shari, the last few days the last few days, I literally I have been in fighting for my life. I never ever would have thought lies won't stand, but still, really? Like to make up something? Wow. Praying hand emojis, several of them, right? And then at the bottom, someone had posted, no weapon that is formed again. This was someone that posted, now in Instagram, some of your posts will show up on your actual live. So this was the next one, which she had posted only 29 minutes before I captured it at 7:55. It says, telling my kids I may have to leave, but find me when you're of age. I'll be here. One of the hardest combos of my life. They don't understand, but they do, because they witnessed it all and know it's untrue. Seeing the pain and hurt in their eyes, I don't know what they're going to do, but I know that they know they will be able to find me eventually. I tell you, these are a bunch of encrypted messages, but they caught my attention. This one I captured 7:55. It said it would have been posted an hour. Decisions to be made, hard conversations to have, therapists on speed dial. Literally, I literally walked away from that show, was tired of the allowed abuse, the protection and covering, the constant yelling, screaming, blatant lies, cursing women out, et cetera, on national television, and still no peace. Still want to see me down and out that bad? Still want me to be looked at as on your level that bad? Shaking my head. It does symmetry. It does sound like I'm reading a poem. But this is actually someone wrote this. I barely slept last night. I literally can feel my nervous system. The nervous system is a part of your body. I saw an idiot trying to say that she had never heard of a nervous system. Was it a box? You have several systems in your body: respiratory system, integratory system, your nervous system is one of those things, and your nerves are all combined in your spine. Okay, so child, please learn something. I see y'all didn't pass biology. All right, this is simple science. It literally is. So you do have a nervous system. She said, I literally can feel my nervous system, and it's as if I'm just shaking and can't stop. I look at my babies, they're at peace right now, sleeping. That's the most peace I see in them, because when the day begins, their anxiety begins. Question after question, angry, furious, heartbroken. Lynn for me said I was going to say it was copied from something. I would say so too, but I've never seen it before. I will say that. I'm not going to pick them apart. You said I thought it was a spoken word. I thought it was too, but it was a little bit too coded to be a spoken word. I'm gonna tell you what caught my attention was this actual one that I caught 29 minutes after it was put on Instagram. telling my kids I may have to leave. But find me when you're of age. I'll be here. One of the hardest combos of my life. I have never been in trouble, y'all. I can say that with all sincerity. I've never, other than a speeding ticket. Now, I've gotten several speeding tickets in my lifetime. I don't want to talk about it, but I have. I have paid and bought several roads in a lot of cities. I haven't had a speed ticket in a long time, knock on wood. But I have never been in trouble with the law other than speeding tickets. And I've always paid them. So I don't know what it feels like to have a warrant out for your arrest. I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what it feels like to be the police looking for you because you may have done something to. I don't know. I don't know what that feels like. But what I do know what feels like is being a mom. And I know that hat all too well. I know that we can choose to see a lot of things about Melody Shari. She's not my favorite person either. But I think I exhibit more empathy than most people probably. My heart is a little bit softened. I can be mad at you, but I can also forgive you. Trying to think of some other things that I do. I think a lot of times I um I could see past those hard exteriors sometimes and see who you actually are. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. I don't know. And Michelle said that was a hyperbolic statement. And I do agree with that. I do think it was highly exaggerated or overstimulated or overreaching trying to make a point. I agree with all of that. I agree with all of that. I'm trying to get my judge out here, maybe to stir up the masses. But to find out that something is going on, um, that may have someone scared is a whole nother situation and a whole nother story. I take no glory. Let me put that out there. I take no glory in anyone's demise or sense of trouble. I take no glory in it. And I admonish you guys to do the same. Take no glory in it. The one thing that we have to do is show that we too are human, right? And anything could happen to us in any given situation. But God is what I'll put in that area. But God, it could be I, but God. And a lot of times we can say Mel has done X, she's done Y, she's done Z. She didn't have sympathy for Martell, but I'm gonna tell you this: when Martell was arrested, I gave him empathy. And anybody who has followed me on this channel or with Butterfly has known I gave Martell a lot of empathy when he was arrested. For what I consider probably nothing that you really should be arrested for. I don't think you should put your hands on anybody. Anybody knows me, that is a no for me, a big no, a cutoff spot. I don't really go past the very fact that you should keep your hands to yourself. That plain simple. Keep your hands to as adults, keep your hands to yourself. There's no reason if your words cannot convey what you need them to do, walk away. There's no reason for you to reach out and touch somebody else based on your feelings. So I agree with all that. But my empathy sets in when it comes to these babies, these children, because they're innocent. We have seen these children go through divorce, dealing with two parents who couldn't get along. I can't imagine what that looks like for them. Now, Melanie's talking about her nervous system. She's feeling her nervous system and it's affecting her entire body. But just imagine what that does for children. If you have never read what a nervous condition looks like in children, I admonish you to look, research it. What it looks like when children are constantly kept on edge as a nervous child. And I think when I say that, I could probably point out a few people inside of my chat who've experienced some of that as young people at the hands of their parents. These are for vulnerable people. They're little people. They're not adults. They're all children. They're all minors. And to who knows what they're hearing, who knows what they're going through. But I admonish my audience tonight to say a prayer for the 4-piece nugget, as she calls them, the Hope children. Because I can't imagine the tug of war that goes on in their life. Children love their mama. I'm gonna throw that out there and be very honest about it. Martell was arrested for a text message. She was arrested for DV. Michelle, no one's denying. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that at all. I definitely agree with that. Does it make a difference? They both getting arrested. Both of them going to possibly, well, we know he went to jail and she will possibly be going to jail. She only has sorry y'all, my chair is squeaky. She has I think $1,000 bond or whatever, which is nothing. And especially nothing for someone who makes a lot of money to be able to post. And my compassion really is for the kids. I'm just being honest. Like I said, I could probably go through this chat just with conversations I've had one-on-one with some of my friends on this chat, people that I have come to know. They've dealt with some of those things as children at the hands of their parents. And as kids love their mom. Mom is that nurturer. Not only did mom carry you for 9 months, when you have a baby, when you are pregnant with a baby, the minute that heart starts to beat, you connect that bond. I remember hearing my son, he's my oldest. I remember the first time I heard his heartbeat. Like, oh my God. The first time I felt him move. Oh my God. The first time I got to hold him in my arms. Oh my God. I created a bond with him. He is my boy. He tells everybody, people say he's a mama's boy, but he is my boy. I love my son. I love him even through all of his mess, all of his faults. I love my son. And you know what? He loves his mama. I have 2 girls. They love their mama. I guarantee you, I have one daughter, baby, in school, well, both of them. They were some fighters in school, baby. Every time I was getting a call almost every week for one of them because she was fighting. When she got out of middle school, she stopped fighting. Thank you, Jesus. But I know that if it came down to mama, my children are coming. They coming. They rolling deep, and they probably calling their cousins to roll with them because they love their mama. Right? You see where I'm getting at? I know we love daddies. We love daddies. Daddies are important. But there's a bond between a mama and a child that is almost unbroken. Brown Girls Rock says, I get what you're saying. I just think she should not be sharing that on. I totally agree, Brown Girls Rock. I totally agree. There's a time and a place for every situation. The Bible tells us that in the book of Ecclesiastes, there is a time and a place for everything under the heavens. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted. So why in the world did she decide that she would bring this to the internet? I don't know. And I can't answer that. Other than maybe she's hurting and this was her outlet. I don't know. I know that when Martell was going through, he also chose to come to social media. Not maybe as much, but he did go to social media and fight some battles. And I'm not here to fight her battle. I am here to shed a different light on it. LaShonda West said there has been violence on both ends. Martell is always, finish that, LaShonda. Martell is always what? Martell has given Mel grace more than once, probably for the job. I'm not asking you to give Mel anything, Michelle. Martell has snapped on Wanda, Tisha, Miss Nelly. So I don't disagree with any of that, LaShonda. Not one bit. LaShonda, hearsay from Mel, but Martell actually had a video. Either way, they need to stop. A to the man. A to the man. You have two adults that are dragging children through their mess because they can't get it together. Okay? Because they can't. Yeah, I read some of their divorce documents and the child support doc. I have read them. The judge didn't only call out one, they called out both parties. So you got to get it together. What's going on in Huntsville? Now, I've heard Mel brag about everybody on the show had a mugshot but her. Now you get to join them. Why? It don't have to be this way. It don't have to be this way. Does the price of fame cost you your common sense? I mean, come on now. Does the price of fame cost you the very fact that you need to have grace to others? I understand you was cheated on, baby girl. I understand that. Guess what? I was cheated on. Did I give my ex grief for it? I walked away. I walked away with my head held high and my 3 babies at my side. I walked away. Because you know what? Life goes on. I left that relationship, wasn't looking for another relationship, and got married again. So life actually goes on, even when we don't intend for it or we don't see it. But the moment you stay waddling in that pig slop, you'll never get out of it. Have you ever fallen in mud? You know how hard it is to get out of mud? There's a lot of, it's so hard to get out of mud. Everybody's slinging mud. You ever been to a mud fight? It's hard to get out of mud. You can't just walk out of mud, right? You can't. Black Butterfly says at this point, there's so many assumptions behind. There are assumptions and they're true. There's a warrant out for her arrest, Black Butterfly. There is, okay? There is a warrant out for her arrest. That much I can tell you. It's called crashing out. Brown Girls Rock, you hit the nail on the head. There is a warrant out for arrest. It's not going to get it together because she exposed him to the world. You saying is that what you're saying, LaShonda? I think that's what you're saying. You said she did walk away. She did walk away, but she still chooses to get in the mud with Martell. Do you hear me? I had a very abusive ex-husband. I can't even go to the depths of talking about how abusive he was. Stalking. Following me. I mean, it was horrible. But I walked away with my head held high. He told me, if you divorce me, you'll never get a dime in child support. And I said, I guarantee we won't starve. Guarantee you, we won't starve. God has been my supplier and my provider. When you walk away, you got to be mature about it. I also had a mother who guided me and led me through that hard time in my life. So I was able to walk away and not be so angry. I was able to let that go. I was angry for a minute. I was bitter for a while. He calls me now and I might check his behind in a heartbeat. He gets it just like everybody else can get it. Especially when he called me about his kids. Call them. Well, they won't answer my call. Well, that's your fault, not mine. Talk to you later. I was married to Martell and he wants He won't. I'm sorry, LaShonda. I'm getting bits and pieces of your messages. LaShonda, she definitely did expose him. She did. She exposed him for who he was. Martell was a cheater. He was a liar. He was a deceiver. Martell did some things to Mel that I probably wouldn't want done to me. You understand what I'm saying? He had a baby on her. Can you imagine being in a relationship and for 5 years of your marriage, I forgot how long they were married, total before they divorced, your husband cheating on you with the lady in the next room or the lady down the street? That got to be mind screwing. Oh yeah, that got to mess with your psyche. You know what I mean? Now, one thing I do know about a Scorpio, they gonna get the get back. They gonna get you back. I'm married to a Scorpio, baby. When I tell you he is vindictive, but God gave him the perfect person to deal with him. The perfect one to deal with him. Because I don't let none of that work on me. None, child. What? I'm gonna get you back. You're not gonna do anything. You're gonna go to bed and go to sleep, buddy. That's exactly how I deal with it. Lady Rose, thank you for giving her grace. I almost went to jail because of snapping on my ex-husband. I'm gonna tell y'all a story that happened back in 1990, a long time ago. My ex-husband, as I told you, was very violent. Very, 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 very violent. And he came home one night and I was washing dishes. And he raised his hand to hit me. Now, he'd been gone. It wasn't me. He was the one in the streets doing his thing. I was at home with the kids, washing dishes, cleaning up the kitchen, because I cooked dinner. He came in the kitchen and he raised his hand to hit me. And I grabbed a knife. His hands, he grabbed the blade of the knife. And his hand slid across the blade. Cut his hand. All I saw was blood. I threw the knife down. I got my keys. Luckily, my kids were with my mother. Got my purse. I got whatever I could grab in my hands. And I left. And I never looked back. Never looked back. Because when it came time, if I had to give you what you was giving me, I couldn't handle it. So my best bet was to walk away. That was my best bet. And I could still hear him in my mind saying, bitch, you cut me. Bitch, you cut me. And I was still headed out that door. I called the police. They came, but the police had been coming after her so often that they knew me by name. They knew who I was. They even had called my parents. That's how bad it had gotten. Little police officer, Lord rest his soul, named Kelly Dunn. Couldn't be any taller than 5 feet. He pulled up. He said, I told you to get away from her. I told you that this man was going to hurt you. He said, I'm going to escort you to your mama's house. I'm going to escort you to your mama and daddy's. He said, because I already called them. When you called me, I called them. He escorted me to my parents. My dad called. He was like, don't you ever let nobody tell you you don't have a home. You come home. You come home. As long as I live, you have a home. And I believe a lot of times we buy lessons that we could learn. My parents had already told me that I needed to leave, that I did not need to be in that situation. But this old hard head trying to make a marriage work, that wasn't going to work. There's no way I could be a whole person and I am fighting daily for my life with someone who wants to physically harm me. That doesn't work. And I was a very young woman, 19. I spent my 18, 19, 20 with him, 21, 22, 23 with him. Young woman. And you think I'm going to fight you? Baby, I'm pissed. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. That's all it took for me. That's all it took for me. And after I left, I couldn't go anywhere. I would look behind me, there would be his truck. Literally. Until one night he pulled up in my daddy's driveway. My mama said, she told my dad, and she said, that boy out there. My daddy went to the porch. We had a big, long wraparound porch. He said, you're not welcome on my property, and if I see you up here again, I'm going to shoot you. I said, Daddy. He said, I'm not playing with him. You my child. I raised you, and I'm not going to let nobody harm you. And sometimes we need that tough love. Because guess what? My daddy was defending me on that side. And on this side, he was saying, you knew better. I taught you better. I raised you better. Why did you choose that? That wasn't what I had for you. That wasn't what I had in mind for you. And he didn't, we actually, as years went by after that, me and my dad talked, and he said, I know I couldn't choose what you wanted in your life. He said, only you could make that choice. But I want you to know I always want what's best for you. And I understood that. I understood that because I know my daddy, without a shadow of a doubt, loved me. He loved him some Lady Rowe. He did. I sat on his shoulders a many day. If I said I wanted, my daddy made it happen. Literally. My siblings said, child, you was the worst one that ever popped around. They finally got it right when it got to me. That's my word. They finally got it right when it comes to me. So back at the mail situation, I want you guys, again, to have some prayer time for these children and for their mental state and for what they've witnessed and endured. Because I'm going to tell you, having your mom or your dad removed out of your life for any reason to go to jail or whatever is detrimental on a child. It's detrimental. It's heart-aching. It's painful. It's painful. Remember, everything I said in this live is alleged, is in my opinion, and is all for entertainment purposes only, except I'm being very serious at this point. I think sometimes we have to have the hard conversations. We do. We have to understand that you two are human. I am human. And things happen, right? That are beyond our control. I can love you so much. I don't want you to go. And I am so mad at the way you treat me to that you treated. Let's put a past tense on that. Until every time that I see you, I want to injure you. I want you to feel what I feel. And some of that is self-inflicted when we go through these things. You know what I'm saying? Again, I would never take away from her what she went through. What I will hold her feet to the fire is how she dealt with it. You say, why is there a warrant out on her? Did Martell lie on her? No one's lied on her. Go look at Anthony Lofty's page. He'll tell you why there's a warrant out on her. I'm not going to get into it. But trust me, I've heard some of the details. I'm going to wait for them to come out. But I think sometimes we want people to hurt like we've hurt. And I don't know what that looks like for Melody Holt, Rogers, Dr. Scott. I don't know what all her names are. I don't know what that looks like for her. But I wish her the best. Again, I don't take glory or gloating in any of this. None of this is cute. None of this is something to be proud of. None of this is a reason to hit yourself on the chest. None of it. Because it could be you in that situation. All of us have been caught up in a moment that we could have been the one being arrested, a warrant put out on us. Anything. You know what I mean? But God, his protection always has a way of encapsulating us, right? And I don't want to say that it's karma, but it could very well be. I don't know. And that's not for me to say. All that's up to God. All of that's up to God. We all go through things, but I do want you to remember her kids, because her kids are the ones that are going to have those lasting memories of, hey, mama went to jail. They have those memories of, hey, remember, dad was in jail. You remember that? They don't have those memories, because I'm going to tell you something about children. They will watch, when they become teenagers and young adults, they will wash your face in some of the mess that you do as adults, as parents. Yes, ma'am, they will. They will remind you of 1925 at 6 p.m. when you forgot to pick them up from school, or forgot to make them a sandwich, or forgot to give them lunch money, or the very fact that you took their cell phone away from them, or the very fact that they had to sit out in the rain because they had lost their kid, you wasn't home from work yet. They will remind you of it. So just imagine if they remind you of the small things. Some of the things that never happened, honey, live it for me. Some of the things that never happened that they've created in their own minds, they remind you of that. Just imagine what they'll remind you of when they actually remember. Jail, police officers, bodyguards. Who knows what these kids have seen? So tonight, before you go to bed, pray. Ask God to give these children peace, to protect their little hearts, protect their little minds, protect their little feet, protect their little ears, protect what they see, protect what they hear, and guide their feet and lead them where they must go. Because at the end of the day is going to end. And these children will still be left with those memories, those thoughts. I don't know what Melody tells them at night. I don't know. I don't know what she tells them at night, but I'm going to tell you this. It's got to be hard to be pulled between two parents, one telling you this and one telling you that. It's got to be hard. I sat in on a case. A friend of mine is a foster parent, my best friend at that. And I have two best friends. One's a doc. This other one is a foster mama, and she also works in the medical field. And she asked me to come be a character witness for her because she was trying to get these children. And as I sat in this hearing, because these children were up to be wards of the state, the one thing, I believe that the two oldest are teenagers. I believe one's 14. And who's the oldest? Is Tank the oldest? Yeah, I think she does have two teenagers. You're right. I didn't think about that. I think she does have two children or teenagers. I'm sorry. But as I sat in that courtroom, I heard the judge ask one of the guardians, "Have you been talking about the other guardian to the children?" And she said, I try not to talk. We don't discuss. Oh, she said she couldn't get it out. She went up. So the judge said, okay. She said, she called the other guardian up. Have you been discussing this guardian? Because these guardians were split. But this foster mom was trying to get the children to give them a safe environment. And the other guardian said, yeah, I talk about her. I sure do talk about her. And the judge said, well, at least you were honest. She said, but I've told you not to discuss each other in front of the kids. And when I tell you the judge really gave them a stern talking to, she said, you don't know the damage that you do to little ones when you down another person that they're looking to for survival to them. If I'm looking to you for my food, for my shelter, for my clothes, for water to take a bath and drink, for all of those things, for a ride to school, for a ride home from school, for a ride to soccer and piano and all the things that I do, if I'm looking to you for that and then you are suddenly snatched away from me, what does that do to your psyche? I know of young people have dealt with mothers and fathers who have been on drugs. It's hard. It's a hard situation. We all don't know what led us. We're not trying to figure it out, Sister White. Sometimes we all have a moment where we have said and done things that are not right in the heat of the moment. That's for all of us. No one is perfect. No one's saying you must just got here, honey. You must have saw the thumbnail and ran over here to defend somebody. But I'm here to tell you, Sister White, there is nobody here to defend. I'm going to let you know that right now. There's no one over here to defend. Please hit that like button, Sister White. Y'all welcome Sister White into the room. We are here just to have a conversation, a conversation about children and how adults can put children in really bad situations. Unbeknownst sometimes to the adult. Because guess what? Sometimes the adult is in flight or flight, survival mode. And we don't always understand what's going on, right? And it's not up to us to understand. But what I will say is up to us to lead and guide children, to be good stewards over our children and grandchildren, nieces and nephews, cousins. That's why when you have a child and you give them a godparent at the blessing or the christening, that godparent has to take an oath. You will help raise this child in the admonition of in the admiration of the Lord. They do that in a lot of churches. I don't know. But I do know that it is up to the parents to mold that child into what they're going to be. You said because it's on the internet, people. Exactly. That's real. That's why we're discussing it. It's because it's on the internet. That's the only reason. The only reason that I'm a content creator. And I came in here with a whole different angle. I didn't come in here and said, oh, she deserved it. Put her in jail, lock her up, throw away the key. Oh yeah, beat yourself on the chest. You did it. Karma, karma, karma. That's not my stance on this. Again, but God. Because I've been down that road where he done made you mad and you want to take him and shake him. Okay? If you can see my hands right now, you can see what I want to shake. You look at night, you sleep, and you look over there and say, it's MFL. I've been there, done that. People are going to discuss it. And there's no need in thinking that people are not going to discuss it. You're not going to be able to, Sister White, you're not going to be able to fight every battle on this internet. Is impossible. I saw, what was that? Jasmine, the Jasmine talk. She's already posted this morning all the scripted messages that Mel posts. She's already posted them. And I'm not here to decipher the messages. What I'm here to say is, please, girl, come on. Come on, live it for me. You feel me? You know where my angle is. You know where my angle is. I cannot imagine looking at a ninja who I am married to that has been openly cheating on me for 5 years. Openly. So much so that you bought her a car. Is you okay? There ain't no way you think I'm just gonna sit here and deal with this and you using money that I'm out here helping you. Hey, Nikki B. Hello. Welcome to the chat. Y'all welcome Nikki B in here. There's no way you think I'm okay with this. There is no, y'all make sure y'all thumbing up this live. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. But there's no way that he could have ever thought she was okay with this as their divorce and their marriage unfolded. I'm just going to, excuse me, I'm going to just walk you through some things. Builder's license. Who held the builder's license? Mel held the builder's license. Remember sitting when she sat on there and she said, what about so-and-so? And he, I won't have it. She said, dissolve. What about so-and-so? I think she said, dissolve. Now, paperwork showed that some of it didn't get dissolved when she said. But at the end of the day, we know who the brains was. So if I am in here working, all right, Nikki done came here and told y'all can believe her or not. She done came here and told you. It was reported the warrant is for DV and assault. All right, y'all got it? DV could mean family violence. That's pretty much what that means. But as a woman, I'm working hard helping you build up a company, and then you taking money from the company and about this girl a BMW. Is you okay? And you get in the bed and go to sleep at night and close your eyes. Are you okay? And you felt so emboldened that you was doing it out loud for everybody to see, embarrassing me. Now I'm putting my foot, my shoes. I'm putting my foot in her shoes just for a minute. Just for a minute. Can you imagine that? You done walked around this city that I got to try to hold my head up. I'm over here on the Chamber of Commerce and I sit with the city council and I have to go before the board and talk about permits. And you out here sleeping with the village horror? Are you okay? And you taking care of her house and my house? Ain't no way you doing that, Jack, and coming in here every day and think I'm going to deal with your mess. I'm lonely. And I was doing, you lonely. There's an escape route. It's called divorce. That you did not have to choose to go lay down with someone else and possibly bring me home more than a baby. Because you went out and made a baby, but you could have brought me more than a baby. There's things out there you can't shake. One of them is called HIV. Herpes. There's several simplexes of it. Uncurable. We could walk that tall walk if y'all want to. I don't really think we have to. There's so much more. We take Martell's side a lot of times and we forget that as a woman, the things that she had to endure. I don't agree with a lot of crap that she did, but one thing I never agree with is that Martell treated her fairly. He treated her like S-H-I-T. He did. Women have to remember, even when we have been done wrong, men, would you say, are not worth it? Is that what you're trying to say? He's not worth it. He's not. He's not worth it. You were divorced from him. Girl, let me tell you something. This is what I truly, truly, truly believe. After me and my first husband divorced, I was dating this gentleman. He was 10 years older than I am. Lord rest his soul. One of the sweetest guys I ever met. He actually became my best friend. I say dating. We was going out, girl. That's all it was, going out. And he told me he had never been married. He wasn't thinking about getting married neither. And at that time I surely wasn't trying to get married. I just wanted to go dance a little because I used to love to dance, hang out. And one day he picked me up and I saw Mike's husband. I said, "Ooh, there goes so-and-so." He said, "I bet he won't mess with you as long as you're with me." And I said, "What?" He said, "I guarantee it." Baby, when I tell you, my ex-husband walked past us like he didn't see us. Mind you, the day before, he had just been harassing me. So you don't tell me that another man that you dating or you along his side that the town don't play. He kept walking. He never messed with me as long as he saw that guy with me. Or he knew that I could call that gentleman. He would, I'm telling you, would go on the other side of the street when he saw me. Brown Girls Rock said, "I've never defended him." Me either. Imagine. I don't know what that means. Nikki B, I'm so sorry. Imagine co-parenting with a narcissist. I don't like to label people. Y'all label them all you want to. If I believe that only the doctor can give you a diagnosis, it's not up to us. Because that narcissist could go both ways, right? Narcissism is it could go both ways. I'm gonna leave it like that. It could. If you look at some of the emotional toll that she has created as well, it could go both ways. It could go both ways. But I'll never say that what he did to her was right. You'll never find me saying that. I don't care if he washed her butt. I'll never agree with what he did. Never. Never, 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 never. He was wrong. He wrong his two left shoe. He was wrong. I don't care if he wasn't happy. You get your stuff and move on out the house. You get your stuff and you go about your business. Yeah. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You see, I think posting on the internet where everyone can see it is harmful to the kids as well. I'm sure their friends parents have opinions that may not be so nice. Ooh, black butterfly. I didn't even think about that because they are school age children. Thank God it's summer, so they may not have to hear it. But these children have cell phones. So I'm sure they're on their cell phones calling their friends. So they may have to hear it in that direction. Um, but my goal is just to keep praying for them. They got to protect them. That God will protect, because God is a protector. He's a healer of broken hearts. Um, always talk about prayer, but the next thing is we got to put some action behind it. Get some therapy. Get some therapy. And I'm not talking about sit down and talk to somebody for a couple. Get some therapy. Do the work. And when I say do the work, I mean work on self. Take self through there. Itemize self. See where self is wrong, and then start fixing self. I'm gonna tell you one thing that I did when I was going through some things. I made me a list about things about myself that I disliked. And I made this comment the other day, even online, about the fact that I realized sometimes I'm a little too blunt. I blame it on being a Sagittarius, but I think sometimes I'm a little too blunt. And I could be a little softer, a little kinder. Look beyond that. That is something I have truly been working on for the last 2 years, is being so blunt. My oldest daughter is always like, Mom, did you have to say that? And I'm like, oh, I could have said that differently. She's like, right? I understand what you meant, but that was kind of hard. And so I think that is something that there's something about each and every one of us that we actually could work on. You say, yes, this is not a joke. This is a family in crisis. Definitely a family in crisis. And that is what we need to be pleading on the doors of heaven for, this family in crisis. The thing is, this family has been in crisis, Sister White. They have. This isn't new. Them being in crisis even fell up under when Martell was going through. They've been in crisis. And it just wasn't handled right from the beginning. It wasn't handled right. I don't think they should have probably stayed on this TV show together as long as they did after the divorce. I understand that she needed her money, he needed his money, because their money, a lot of their own money, was tied up in bankruptcy after the divorce. They both had to file. So I really believe that it could have went another direction if they had taken the time and went their own way to heal. Because just like life is a process, divorce is a process. Divorce is almost like a death. Remember, there's 5 stages to death. And I believe divorce is that same way. And I believe a lot of times you start grieving your marriage before you actually finalize your divorce, if you understand that. Nikki said it can go both ways. You're right. You said they said she mentioned a therapist. She did mention a therapist. She said right here, decisions to be made, hard conversations to have, therapist on speed dial. So she did mention a therapist. I hope to God that she utilizes that therapist. But I will tell you this, therapy without doing the work is just idle time, just wasting time, wasting money. You got to do the work. You got to do the work. You got to do that self-reflection. You got to do the family therapy where you sit down with the children. I'm gonna tell you this. Me, my youngest kid, I think we did it her junior year in high school, sophomore year in high school. She and I went and did family therapy. It was offered, so we did it. When I tell you we learned, I didn't realize how much family therapy helps the family. Sitting down doing puzzles together, playing games, the things that this lady just offered to us, this group family therapy offered, was just doing things that I just thought, she's doing a puzzle, I go do a puzzle. We'll sit down. We actually started working puzzles together. We did this because the oldest 2 were in college. She was still home. My husband worked all the time. So I was like, let's go do it. Let's see what it's about. Every Tuesday, we were sitting in therapy, baby. And when I say enjoyed the sessions. Really, we at the store buying puzzles, picking up. I'm trying to think what else they had us doing. I think we did a painting together. We did a board, vision board together. I mean, just a good time. So I really understand therapy is great. It is great. You said everything is not for everyone to know. Oh, Black Butterfly, preach that one, baby. That is a sermon within itself. Pass the offering plate. Everything is not for, and it is not for display for the whole wide world. There are some things that you need to keep close to your heart. When my niece got married, at her bridal shower, they asked, is there anything, that you guys would like to say to the bride, or any words of wisdom? And I stood and I told her, and I say this to every bride that I know that's getting married, baby, there is going to be some things that you can't tell nobody but God. I say that with all sincerity. You can't tell the internet. You can't tell your best friend. You can't tell mama or daddy. There are some things that you cannot tell anybody but that man that you talk to when you're on your knees. Because you know what? He won't repeat it. He won't judge you for it. He'll forgive you for your wrongs. And he'll accept you in. And your heart will be pure when you're done. I think it's so silly sometimes how we as adults can behave. But a lot of times, you can't see the forest for the trees, right? I can only see these trees, but I cannot see the beauty of what lies behind it, because I can only see right here, this moment, not realizing that it won't always be like this. I'll call those impulse issues, right? I always say Martell has an impulse control issue. His impulses causes him to blurt out, say things, and do things because he cannot control his emotions. And I think that's so unfair. You said only giving my opinion. I hope that's okay. It's fine, Sister White. I greatly appreciate your opinion. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know how old you are, but the Bible tells us that we should really look up to the women who are older in Zion. We should really take wisdom from them, because most of them, if you really think about older women, I'm not talking about these new age chicks, honey. The older women who really have taken the time to study themselves, analyze life. This morning, me and my sister I was driving down the freeway, headed to see somebody, and she calls me. My sister calls. We're just laughing, and I say, "Girl, Mama said so and so and so and so." She said, "She sure did, didn't she?" And I'm gonna tell you this: my mom passed away in 2024, but I remember before she got sick, going to her one day and just saying, "Mama, girl, you was right about everything." She said, "Was it everything?" I said, "Everything." And she said, "What you talking about?" I began to break stuff down. She said, "I tried to tell y'all." She said, "I even told all of y'all, why don't y'all let me teach y'all some lessons? Y'all ain't got to buy all the lessons. Some of them you should be taught." And I just have to say, I appreciate my mother for those lessons. A woman in Zion, very wise. Very wise, baby. One of the things she would say, if a ninja tell you he want a baby, he lying. I could hear her just saying it so freely. He lying. He leave you taking care of that baby, changing all the diapers, feeding the baby, and he be gone out partying, girl. He lying if he tell you want a baby. So those are some of the things I look back on my mom and laugh. You said, why she telling us she will leave her kids behind until they grow? That's crazy talk. Felicia, baby, I don't know. We trying to figure that, but I don't think I says pray for the kids. Because it seems like we trying to traumatize the children. And I don't like it. Let's pray for the kids. Right? Sometimes being strong for so long, you will break. She needs therapy. I agree. But she says she's had therapy. And I don't know how some people break in other ways. Me, myself, I'm one of those that try to be hard, but I have found with the passing of my own mom, my dad passed when I was a young 20s. My mom passed as a little bit older, me being a little bit older. My mom was 89. She was a beautiful woman. And I say God did his good one when he gave me her. But I found myself going through grief. Like I said, divorce is like grief. I've been divorced. And I went through all those stages, the anger, the I want to slap them around. All those things. I experienced all that. So I do know that. But I will tell you this. I had to pick up the pieces and move on. And I just believe that, and I've said this. I even put it in her chat one day, Mel, you got to find you some boyfriends. And you got to date them out loud. And don't care what the people say. You got to date them out loud. That is the only way you're going to be able to show Martell that you've moved on. And you'll be able to show yourself that you still got it. I still got it. Because sometimes that insecurities and pressure comes from us, right? And I'm not saying go out here and sleep with nobody. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about go out on, have him take you out for steak and potatoes and go to the Ruth Chris or to the Texas de Brazil or to the, I'm just trying to think of some really nice restaurants that she could go to. You know what I'm saying? The Keg, the Longhorn Steakhouse. Take you somewhere that you can let your hair down. Even go to a pizza spot, and just relax and laugh and have you a mimosa or have you a margarita. Get a shot if you want one. Just go and do you. You got to do that for your own sake. Because there's no way. I'm going to tell you something. And then we're going to try to wrap this up. Sometimes being strong for so long will break you. We talked about that. You said allegedly she attacked Martell and is in trouble. Allegedly, that's true. No woman is going to stand by and continue to all the father to abuse her children, allow the fathers. Mel has had enough of Martell's abuse. The court has not helped her child. Let me tell you something, Miss J. A lot of that you guys have made up. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna call a thing like it is. I'm gonna call a thing like it is. Mel has said herself that Martell was a good daddy. She said that. And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times when people get their hands off of stuff, things will move a little further along. Now, as far as abusing, my mama always told me, when it came down to my kids, girl, let that man spank that boy. That's his daddy. He know how much heat to put on that behind. Bible said, child left alone make you shame. I ain't trying to be shamed. Right? I ain't trying to be shamed. Because it's the same Martell that was there when she was raising these children. Same Martell. Still want to be hands-on. Now all of a sudden he's the enemy because when he's a good father, Martell gets the kids ready for school. Martell takes the kids to school. That came out of her mouth. I've heard other people say, "Oh, he's doing this, he's doing it." Mel said, "Oh, it won't be. He would never abuse me. It'd be me doing the abuse." Then I hear people, "Oh, he abuses her on the internet." On the internet. Yeah, moving right along. Yep, she should have been living out loud with soulmates to heal. It does. It does. I'm telling you, it does. You sitting at home, wallowing in the fact that this did not work. It didn't work, but that's not the end of life. You got to keep moving forward, putting one foot in front of the other, and not acting like you happy. You got to really be happy. I said I was gonna say something, and I got distracted. But I would say this. Melody was in Paris on the internet, going back and forth with content creators. I thought I got screenshots of it. Back and forth with content creators when she should have been enjoying Paris. Girl, I went to Paris. I probably took some pictures, and if my kids call, I probably hear them, got them off the phone because I enjoy Paris. If you look through my post, baby, I've been all around the world, and yeah. I love traveling. But one thing I'm gonna do is I ain't just argue with you on my vacation. I ain't just go back. I'll talk to you when I get back to the States. I am not gonna be in Europe or in France arguing with you. Ain't gonna happen. It's not made up. She said that. Moving right along. Her police report was like, moving right along. Moving right along. The cast even said Martell's a good day. Literally, Martell. They've all said it. Even she said it. But the story changed when we had to gather up a group of people to save the day. Child, moving right along again. She said that for the show, but her moving right along. Good dad. They said he was a good dad. Martell's a horrible father. He can't financially provide for them and only had kids to prove he ain't gay. Marcus knows his boyfriend, so please, girl, let me help you out today. All right. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Move around. Thank you. I believe Melanie had to choose her words carefully when putting out those texts. Prayers for all involved. That part. because we're not going to be derailed by people want to come in here and change the subject. We talk about something totally different. I believe that these children need our prayers. These adults need to grow up. All of them, both of them. They need to grow up. He getting arrested for text messages and she getting arrested for beating his tail. Child, too much. Y'all been divorced way too long for this to keep going on. Period. Let me tell you something. When you show up at a family event and you are a school event with these children, you sit over there and I sit over there. The kids can go sit with you if they want to. I'm not going to be nowhere near you, baby. You and your kid, you did what to you? Let's go over and talk to this officer. I'm not supposed to put my hands on you. For what? I got too much to lose. No, sir. No, sir. No way. When was the last time that you hear her say he was a good dad? I don't know. I don't watch her. Is Mel mama in the chat? I don't know. I don't know her mama. Not at all. You said, please keep it respectful in chat or you go to the chair. Baby, you better show them. Live for me. You better let them know, baby. I keep a chair on sidelines. Because over here, this is where I make the little talk. This is my stage. I got the little mic in front of me and I get to say the things I want to say. And I haven't said anything that was harmful. I've been very honest and I think truthful about this situation. Altogether. I was joking cause the chat going in defending Mel. It's only one person, it's not the whole chat, just one person, Miss J. She could defend Mel. She could defend Mel all she wants. It's not my job to defend Mel or not defend Mel. That's not my job. I just ask that we pray for the children, child. Whatever else happened, it just happened. Let the chips fall where they may. Last time I checked, Mel was an adult. Last time I checked, Martell was adult. But these children are minors. They're impressionable. And I do not want to have 4 children coming out into the world being nervous, being individuals who can't trust, individuals who are afraid, because these things may affect their psyche, right? They may get on the internet. These children have cell phones. They may get on the internet and they may see the things that people say about them. Because, again, these children love their mama and they love their daddy. They do. And there's nothing you're going to do to stop children from loving their mama or loving their daddy. All right? I know people that are alcoholics, don't have nowhere for their child to live, drug addicts, and those children still, mama, I love you. I heard a baby tell his mama one day, she said, I ain't got nowhere for you to stay. He said, she said, I don't have nothing for you to eat. He said, I don't have to eat, mama. I just want to be with you. That's how much kids love their parents. So much so they don't want to eat. That I ain't got to eat. Just let me be with you, mama. Let me hang out with you, mama. These kids love their mama. They love their daddy. Mom and daddy, get it together so your children can continue to love you, continue to take care of you. Because these may be the ones who have to take care of you in your older age. And I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. The children are our future. This is what Whitney tried to tell us. Ain't that what she said? She believed the children were the future. Teach them well, let them lead the way. But what are you teaching your child when it's violence involved? Keep your hands to yourself. Because that's what you surely should be teaching your kids. Keep your hands to yourself. I taught it to mine, baby. She was at the schoolhouse fighting, but I told her, you keep your hands to yourself. I said it every single time I could. I remember one day I was coming to the school to pick her up. She had volleyball practice because my daughter was a great volleyball player, but baby, she could swing. And I saw these 2 girls stand out there, and one was swinging over the other one. And child, I almost didn't get in my car and park. I was like, stop fighting. I hate to see people fighting. And I'm screaming, stop fighting. Till I realized it was my child. Baby, if I had a belt, it would have been belt to ass. Because I did not play that. Baby, she saw me, her head dropped. Get your ass in this car. Get in this car. Let's go to the house. Come on. Get in this car because we got to get to the house. Because you know that's not what we do. Man, I'm 43 working on my childhood traumas. It's a real thing. Come on now. And people think it's a game. They think it's a game. I'm sorry. You said, got to be cautious with the heart and souls. This spiritual war is so for real. You cannot play with God. There is a legion of demons that come along with playing with God. A legion of demons. You know what a legion is? Many. Many. The Bible also tells us in that day, many will say, Lord, I knew you. I did this and that in your name. The Lord said, child, I know you. Go on about your business. I don't know nothing about you. You need to say BTA. And he just was right. Better ass, baby. You know what I mean? Yes, get in this car. We just go to the house. This is not how we conduct ourselves in public. Same here. I'm 50, and you have to work on that every single day. You have to be able to sit down and war with those childhood traumas, whatever, how big or how little they may be. Because I've heard people that say they dealt with a whole lot of stuff. Then I got people that say little things, little things, little things. I remember I was sitting at a pool with some of my girlfriends. We were just chit-chatting, and we were talking about growing up. And I was telling them how my mom used to whoop my butt. And this girl looked at me and she said, you were traumatized. You probably should seek therapy for that. And I said, baby, I'm not traumatized. I'm not traumatized. I don't care what you say. You're not going to make me be traumatized. I'm not traumatized. Baby, I told my mama what she said. My mama said, have you ever been to jail? I said, no, ma'am. You ain't never been to the penitentiary? No, ma'am. You went to school? Yes, ma'am. You got educated? Yes, ma'am. You got a good job? Yes, ma'am. You're a productive citizen? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I think I did my job. I was just trying to raise you to be the best you could be. She said, and I didn't know how to do it any other way than the way I had been. It was done to me, right? But when I tell you I have no trauma about my raising, I don't have, and I'm going to tell you that it wasn't always roses. It was sometimes trying, but I'm not traumatized by it because whatever I went through, I left it at the therapy office and I did the work. That's why I say, if you do the work, that's soul searching. Why do I act this way? What about me makes me act this way? Am I a spoiled brat? Do I need to curb this? Do I want too much? Am I always seeking to have whatever will soothe me versus, being open for the family? We have to think about those things. Children say, oh, my mom is selfish. What does that look like? Does that look like the mom never had anything? So the minute she got a nickel over lunch money, she said, you know what? I'm going to go out here and I'm going to buy myself that car that I wanted. Or I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go on that trip that I wanted to go on. Or I'm going to go out here and I'm going to buy me that $200 pair of shoes that I've been looking at because I work hard and I've raised my kids. And I tell my single mamas all the time, let the daddy have the baby. Let him raise them. You pay him child support because these kids going to get grown. And guess what? They're going to be mad at you because you stayed and daddy left. Trust me. You pay child support. Let them raise the kids. Child, when these kids, when the daddy figure out these kids is just as rowdy and bad and the kids want to, make you the bad guy all the time, child, all those doors will change. Trust me. It'll all change. But anyway, you guys, I want to thank y'all for coming down here, listening to me run my mouth. We're going to be following this. My prayer is that the best for Mel, the best for the children, especially. I will say this, her bond is $1,000. She get a bail's bond, that's $100. If she's never been in trouble before, she may be able to get out on her own recognizance when she goes before the magistrate. Anywho, if no one told you today that they love you, I love you. And there ain't a thing you can do about it. Y'all make sure to thumbs up the video. If you're not subscribed here, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.